school, Nature Science Initiative. I'm a representative of India's nature, a citizen science community. I just wanted to start with an image from the place where I live. These are the high Himalayas. And as you can see, a lot of flowers, glaciers, tall mountains, etc. The reason I'm sharing this is so that you all are excited to be a part of the rest of the presentation and hope for so more images like this. The second reason I wanted to share is just think about how you would describe this place, because that is going to be a part of how we are going to go on this journey together on exploring your challenge. My presentation and this briefing is in 5 parts: how to prepare, what exactly your challenge is, how to describe your focus area, what and how to document, and finally, how to present your findings. I'm guessing that the mode we're going to go is that I will do my presentation, and at the end of it, we'll take questions and answer all your queries. Right up front, I want to say that I will be available on WhatsApp and email to help you individually as groups as well as individually as schools to help you navigate your challenge. And I think that is, I'm saying this also for Riddhima and Nature Science Initiative resource people who will be with you on the ground as well as online. So to prepare for your challenge, these are some of the items that you'll need. Basically equipment, a few chart papers, bold marker pens, 10-meter tape or smaller. If you have a smaller 10 meter tape, a measuring tape, then you can also get a rope that is thin rope that is 10 meters. A protractor compass, not a navigator compass, a protractor compass and a carpenter's L to measure right angles. A working smartphone with a camera, a notebook, pen, pencil, drawing notebook, coloring pens, pencils, etc. And anything else that you think that you would need. What you should carry around for your work is a water bottle and your bag so that you can keep everything safe. What I've not added in this is maybe it's the monsoon season, so you can carry an umbrella or a raincoat, though I'm guessing that you're not going to go out when it's raining. In terms of safety, I'm not sure whether you all will be in uniform or whether you all will be in non-uniform clothes, but please wear good shoes, hat and cap to prevent sun and rain, full sleeves clothes and full pants or long socks. And maybe you can, as a group, carry a long stick in case you're going into a grassy area. You can use the stick to see if there's anything inside. So just to describe your challenge, we would like you to uncover a small plot of land story. How you tell the story will also help you navigate what challenges are there for that piece of land, how climate change may be or may not be affecting it, and how biodiversity is being impacted or not impacted. That story is for you to tell. We'll just give you the guide, and we'll give you the kind of template in which you can do this story. Your team of 3 to 5 to 7 students, I don't know how big each team size is, I'm guessing 5, is the storyteller of this land. So just like you would tell a story for yourself, you're now responsible to tell the story of this land. So first thing to do is to find an accessible and safe plot of land where you have permission to enter, which is free of hazards. There shouldn't be broken buildings, garbage with broken pieces of glass. It should be not very cliffy, not near a river, big river, not near a pond, etc. It should be basically free of danger and hazards and where it is safe for you to go. It should also be easy to reach, because I'm hoping that over the course of your work, you'll be able to go 2 or 3 times over there. The first part of your challenge is when you reach there is to take a chart and each team member describes in 3 words what they feel about that chosen piece of land. Your first impression, write it down. Don't hesitate. Whatever comes to your mind, it's okay. Anything is good. And write those 3 words for each student, each team member. Write the date and the time you made those 3 words for each member on the same chart and place the team member's name on it. This is your first idea of the land. The second part is to measure your land. We are suggesting that you do a 10 meter by 10 meter plot. Yes, You might have access to a large piece of land, but 10 meter by 10 meter is more than enough for you to investigate from a long time to figure out the story of that land. So using your tape, and find a few pieces of stone that you can mark your corners. So start from point A and draw a straight line with your tape, as straight as you can do it, to point B. 10 meters, measure it. Then from point B, using your right angle tool, your carpenter's tool or protractor compass, measure 90 degrees and measure 10 meters from B to C. Similarly, do that from C to D points, and then from D to A. So you should get an approximate square. If you want to find the center, then you connect points C and A and B and D in an X, and the center of the X is the center of your plot. You can take some photographs standing far away of what you think the plot is, make 4 people stand at the 4 corners, and take a GPS reading using a GPS tool on your mobile phone, which should have an app. I can suggest an app later on, but there are many apps that you can use. Once you've measured this, make sure that you mark points A, B, C, and D, because these should be permanent for the duration of your study, your storytelling, your challenge. Make sure that when you put these stones, be careful. Don't lift too big a stone. Be careful when you lift stones so that there's nothing under it that can harm you. Be careful. And also don't put these stones on a path where people are using. Otherwise, it will be a hazard for them. So when you lay a plot, try and lay it where there is no existing path. So this is the same thing. I've just described this. And later on, I can share this presentation so that you have this again. I'm not going to go by this because this step by step I've already described. The second part is to uncover the land's history or land use history. Find its precise location. Where is it located? Which village? Which is a nearby city? Which district? Which state? And take a GPS reading. If you can find a local name for the land, if somebody nearby you tells you a local name, please use that local name in your description. If there is a new name for this land, add that as well. And you can make a comment that traditionally this name of this land was such and such, and now it is such and such. Describe the land. Does it have walls and fences? Does it have trees? Basic description, half paragraph, half page rather. Does it have shrubs? Does it have any animals on it? Anything that, just indicates what is happening right now over there and what you see. Like I said, find out the name, and also if it has any significance. Is it part of a garden? Is it part of a temple complex? Is it private property which you have access to? Is it part of a reserve forest belonging to the government? Anything. Try and determine who owns the land. It might be difficult in some cases. It might be easy, depending on where you go. If you do not know who the owner of the land is, ask somebody nearby. Usually there will be people nearby. If not very close by, then you walk a little bit here and there, go to a nearby shop, any person who's living close by, and ask them about it. And if they ask you why you want to know, you just tell them you're students and you want to do a small research project, because sometimes people get very upset because they don't know what is happening on their land. What is happening currently in this plot? Identify the primary activities. Are people cutting grass? Are animals being grazed? Has it been left to grow as a forest? Is it degraded because of other reasons? Is it hectically used by people? Are children playing sports over there? Anything. Try and identify the main activities that are taking place and who are the people using it. If it's unused, you have to try and find out historically what happened in this land. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 25, 50 years ago. Once again, the best people to tell you about this land are the people living close by. Sometimes people would have moved recently, and you can ask them who the original people were or who the people were who lived here older, and then go and meet them. Use your faculty guide to help in navigating, interacting with people. So this is just an example of what is happening. There's a field, there's a woman doing something, there are children going to school. In the same field, a woman is showing the farmyard manure that she's collected. There are earthworms in it. So you can just do a description, take a landscape photo from far away, and then keep going closer and closer until you get your identified piece of land. The second part of your land story is to find out about the environment of the land that you have chosen. Is there water? Is there a puddle? Is there a stream? Is there a pond over there? Is there a tap also which has some water access? What are the trees like? Are there big and small trees? Just do a rough count. How many? And you can categorize them as tall, big. You can try and use the measuring tape to measure at 1.3 meters height. Or you can just describe it that there are big fat trees or thin trees or small trees. Are there any bushes? Bushes are basically not trees. Trees are big, which have a long woody bole or a trunk, and it has woody branches. Bushes are much smaller. They're also generally woody, but they don't take a tree form. They don't grow in straight, long trunks. So those are bushes. Find out what kind of bushes are there. You all are aware of lantana. Lantana is usually a bush and it will never be a tree. Similarly, grass and tender plants, they're called herbs. See if the ground is covered and just have a look and describe that, yes, there were herbs and the whole plot was covered with herbs and small tender plants, and we couldn't see the mud or we could see the mud. If the mud is visible, is it dry or muddy? And is a lot of mud visible? Some plots will have a lot of mud visible, which will tell us something else. Some plots will be covered in grass, which will tell us something else. Do you see any animals? Do you see any animals that are wild? Do you see birds? Do you see cows, goats? Do you see domesticated chicken? What is it that you see in terms of the big animals that are easily seen? Are there leaves on the ground? Is it covered with leaf? Is it covered with organic rotting matter like sticks or twigs or trunks of trees that are fallen down? That's also indication of what is happening. For whatever trees, bushes, grass, and all you find, try and find their local names and match it with an English name and later on match it with a science name. Take pictures, make drawings, and write descriptions. That is to uncover the land's environment. Part 4 is documenting biodiversity. So once you go to your plot, first just hang around over there. Don't immediately go running around here, there. Just absorb the land, spend some time looking carefully. Once you've spent a few minutes to maybe 5-10 minutes just walking around your 10 meter by 10 meter, it's 100 square meters, it's a large area, then you can start discussing the different things that you see. Try and document one of each that you see. One tree, one bush, one grass plant with its flower, with its seeds and flowers, one fern, one mushroom, one butterfly, bird, beetle, anything that you see, just document them one, whatever you see uniquely. Later on, I'll show what are the good practices and how you should take. If the plants and the bushes have flowers and fruits, take them. If you find a feather on the ground, take them. If you find a feather on the ground, place a scale against it, a ruler, and you can take a measurement of it. Butterflies and beetles are slightly harder because they tend to fly away. So you have to be patient and you have to approach them very gently. If you're wearing school clothes, you don't have a choice. Your clothes might be bright. But if you're wearing home clothes and that's allowed, wear dull colored clothes so that whatever you're seeing don't run away. Once you've documented and taken photographs, when you come back to your classroom or wherever you're doing your group project, you can use different books and you can use the iNaturalist app, the Seek app that has been suggested to you. You can use Wikipedia, you can use Google Lens and try and find the names of what you have seen and identify them. Make sure to try and get local names for them. Ask local people if they are around and they are curious about what you're doing. They are the best and the first source of information. They might have a name and usually that name will be associated with an English name. Use your library books. You might have access to plant, flower, animal, mammal books, etc. Finally, NSI team and I will be available on WhatsApp and you send us the images, we will try and identify it for you. Of whatever you document biodiversity, Pick out the 5 most interesting organisms that you've seen. Make sure they're all very different from each other, and investigate into these in a bit more detail. Like I said, find out their local names. Write a description, very brightly green colored jewel bug, or it was pink flower, or it was something. Find out if they have any medicinal value. Find out if somebody is collecting them for eating, for selling, or for anything else. Find out if there are any folklore or magic. And again, your best bet is local people who are around you. If you can actually make friends with one of them, they'll be a best source of information. It might be some other children who are hanging out there, who have lived there. It might be some adults. It might be anybody. Approach them with the guidance of your guide teacher, and introduce yourself, which school you are from, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. And then once you've established who you are, then you ask them, may I ask you some questions about this place? And then you can ask them these questions. And you can also ask them, can we write down your answers? Because sometimes people get nervous, especially when people are writing on paper and it seems, oh, something is going to happen. So people are reluctant. So ask permissions before. Even when taking photographs, especially of people, ask them before. Do not take photographs of people, especially without asking them ahead of time. Once you do this, you can learn about the organisms you've documented by drawing pictures, measuring it, if possible, with your scale and measuring tape. You can write stories about it based on the what you found on the science pages, or you can write stories which are popular and you have found out about it. You see a butterfly, you can just find out and write about a beautiful butterfly or a beautiful fruit or a beautiful bird or anything. It could even be an earthworm. But do this only for the 5 that you have chosen. Focus on them. Finally, try and see how these creatures and organisms have a relationship with the land that you are exploring. Can you establish any relationship? The spider was found on a tree. So what could the spider be eating? And in the spider's web, what is coming? What are the insects that are coming? If there's a bird on your plot, is it eating any fruit on that plot? What fruit is it eating? Does it have a nest in that tree? If there's an animal, if there's a cow on the land, what is it eating? Whose cow is it? Does it live there all the time, or does it visit a few hours every day? So you can make these connections of what you're seeing with the land, and that will be an important part of your story. So some tips for being in field. Always be in a group, have an adult along, because I think that's protocol. When you look under rocks and tree bark, etc., be careful. Flip the rocks flip the rocks towards you. Stand behind it and flip it towards you, because if there's anything under the rock, which may be scary, then you can quickly withdraw. Ideally, don't move rocks. That's my advice. Wear shoes and full pants and sleeves, full sleeve shirts. I know it's hot and humid, but it's a basic safety precaution. Take clear photos. I will share that from multiple angles, showing as many parts as you can. And also take off the habitat and the habit where it is. I'll explain what I mean by that. So this is an example of a flower photograph on the top. So first take the flower photograph, check it's clear from the top, then take it sideways. Please try and not pluck anything, just leave it there. Leave everything as you found it. Don't move stuff, don't remove stuff. We don't know what is happening on the land, so y'all are just visitors there. So be kind of careful for the land and the other people who might be using it. So don't pluck. You can hold the plant and take a photograph on the side. Then take a full photograph of the plant and the leaves so that you get the leaf shape and structure. And then you can also try and use your whole hand to get an idea of the size. For trees, you'll have to step way back. And when you want to know the approximate size of a tree, you can ask some of your team members to stand at the base of the tree and you can step back and take a photograph. If you want to know how big a tree is, a few of you can join hands and you can ring the tree like you're hugging it. So that will give you an idea, and you can later on measure your hug, and you can find out if it's a 1 meter or a 5 meter or a 2 meter tree, etc. Lower down is a photograph of an insect. First, take whatever views are available to you, because insects tend to be very flighty. They move very fast. So you have to be patient. Go approach it slowly. Wait. Many insects come back to where they are. It's a dragonflies usually like sitting on a certain dry twig. So if you wait, you will be able to get close. Don't make sharp movements. Be patient, and you'll get such nice photographs. Your mobile phone is good enough. You just have to practice with it. If you have access to a regular camera, that's also good. But ideally, use simple techniques and use the tools that you have easily accessible to you. If you're photographing mushrooms, so this is how it's done. Ideally, I wouldn't recommend for you to touch mushrooms, because there are some uh, poisonous mushrooms. So be careful. If you do touch them, immediately wash your hands, preferably with soap water. Or I didn't include it in the equipment list. And of course, NSI do have some mushroom experts. So try and stay hands off your mushrooms, and try and do as many photographs as you can without touching them. There are some resources that are available, which we'll share. This is basically a season watch trees poster. It's free for download. The link is here, and later on I can share this link. You can download it, and you can look at how they have described parts of a flower, parts of the leaf, the fruit, etc. So when you take a photograph of a flower or a tree or a leaf, these are the things that you should document. This is a more detailed season watch chart. And again, it just describes what you should do when you're describing a tree. Again, I will share this on with the coordinators, and they will share it with each of you school teams that are there. Finally, presenting your story. So there are many ways that you can present your story. When you're on site and off site, you can start to do some observations in a journal. You can write your thoughts, you can make drawings and sketches, you can use your photographs to make drawings of what you've seen, and you can write the date, time, and the people who are with you. Make sure that it's there on all your work, so that you know when you made it. Because over time, as you improve your observation and as you revisit, you'll find that you're seeing things in different light. With the pictures and the short descriptions that you made, you can create a slideshow for your land story, its environmental aspect story, and the 5 organisms that you've chosen. You can write short essays, short stories about your discoveries and your feelings for the land. You can keep it in 2 parts, the science part and the feelings part. Express yourself creatively. Any artwork you feel like doing. Maybe if you want to make a model, maybe you want to draw some pictures, anything, a skit, a song, a poem, that's up to you. And I guess that potentially, if you do this well right now, you could also display it during your annual day function. Now, to tell your land story, one important thing is to do on the last day that you visit the land is to do an after-word chart. Like in the beginning we showed you, and I'm going to show you over here. So you did a word chart at the beginning. So before, when you went, you used any words, three words per team member. Sunny, it was beautiful, it was scary, there were dogs there were chicken there, it was green, it was brown, etc. Any words. Do the same exercise on the last day before you leave. The last thing, again on a chart, write 3 words per student. And you can show this 2 charts as one of the slides, that when we went, before we knew anything about the land, these were the words we used. And now that we know the land, these are the words we are using to describe the land. You could also show your photographs of like this, the date you saw it, the event. Try and find the science detail. If you don't have, it's okay. You can just say frog, you can just say caterpillar, you can just say insect, and we'll help you with the final details of those. But this is just a visual representation of how you can show your photographs. Simple photographs, you don't need to, there's not much. Once you have clear photographs, those are good enough. butterflies, many of them together. There's interesting behavior happening over here. So it's not only one individual, there's interactive behavior that's happening. Try and see that. Like we already described, a spider catching a fly, maybe a bee visiting a flower, maybe a bird sipping nectar from a flower, or eating an insect, or carrying a twig to make a nest, anything, maybe a woodpecker drumming on the tree, some behavior that you've observed. So I'm going to end my presentation. I want to thank Little Scholars Kashipur for this allowing me this opportunity to interact with all of you. I'll shut my presentation and I'll be happy A, to share this presentation, and B, to also now address all your queries and questions. At the same time, I think Soumya and Riddhima are here. So if they have anything to add to this, please do so.
Thank you so much, sir. At this point, I would like to welcome our spokesperson, another spokesperson for the day, Ms. Riddhima Karwa, ma'am. Ms. Riddhima Karwa is the development professional and graduate in mathematics. She's also a research person at the Nature Science Associative.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I don't know how good my network is, but yeah, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Manjula, I think that Soumya has said that she has a presentation that she would like to share. So I'm not sure she's able to share it. So will one of you do it, please?
Sir, already we hi sir, good evening. Hello, am I audible, sir? Hello.
Oh, I think that this is for the senior class. Sorry, it's for the senior class.
That is already doing parallel. It is going on, and already we have done.
Okay, okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So any questions and any clarifications, please be, don't feel shy, because this is your start. So any question you have, there is no question that is not interesting enough. There are always lots that you can ask, any simple question, and we'll be happy to answer. I cannot hear. I heard somebody speak, but I cannot hear. I'm sorry. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. I had a query. Can we choose a barren land?
Yes, it's up to you what land you choose. And just to say that barren is a very difficult description. And so you can start by just visiting the land and following these exercises that we've told you. And then later on, you can tell us what that land was about.
Thank you.
For example, you use this word barren. So when you go, it should be a word that you use on your word chart. The first word chart that you make, barren. And then you can add more words.
Okay.
Any more questions, please? Any more queries, clarifications? Yeah, Akshat Goyal from Flora Fusion, go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. So I want to ask a question that we can take the photos and description of weed growing in that area also.
Yes, you can. Nothing
Okay, sir,
is not allowed. Everything is allowed. It is for you to choose what you want to share with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
But anybody else? Do they have any doubts? They can ask right away.
If anybody is facing any kind of doubt, please feel free to ask. Or you can write your doubt in the chat. So there's a question by a student.
Yes.
Can we choose land nearby river?
It depends on how close to the river you can choose. The only concern is safety. So that individual group will have to speak to their faculty member, and if it's safe enough, yes. But safety is the only the primary consideration. Does that answer your question? Himani, do you want to ask a question? Because there's a lot of background noise from your account. Yes, please go ahead with more questions.
Sir, there is this question. Can we use
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
Sir, there's one question in the chat box. Can we use an agriculture field?
Yes, I already answered that the choice of land is yours.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Actually, there was some network issue. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. There is a second question. Manpreet Kaur has asked, is this the only task we need to do, or is it the first task to do? And for minimum, how many times do we need to visit the land? I cannot say about the minimum number of times you need to visit the land. My recommendation is at least 3 visits, given the feasibility of your schedule. And yes, this presentation describes the list of tasks.
If somebody have any more questions, okay, we have one.
There is one more question from Navishi Rastogi. The story of the land is only to be described through presentation. Actually, if you look at the slide, the presentation that I've shared, there are many ways in which you can present. Slideshow is one of them. You could also write an essay. You can draw a chart. You can do sketching. So there are multiple ways in which you can describe and share your story of the land. There is another from Flora Fixer. Sir, do we have to go alone there or in a group? I think this is a group study. So ideally, you should go in a group. It's also not just for the group part, but also in terms of safety part.
Thank you so much, sir, for your visit. I will encourage all the students if they have any doubt.
Yes,
Please
there is
ask.
actually one. There is one more question that has come as a direct thing. I think we'll take this as the last question if time is up. Sir, the land we are using has trees like which are not native. Can we still use that land? Bhavesh, that is for you to describe. Because native, non-native, it's a concept that you can tell us about, and then we can talk about that concept as such. So if you know it's a non-native tree, then you can tell us how you found out it was non-native and what its history is and what it is doing to that land or not doing to that land. Sorry, Manjula ji. Okay, there's another question. Can we use chart paper for your presentation? That is up to you. Ideally, we'll also be, some of us will be remotely online. So you can take your chart, make it and put it onto a slideshow and present it to us. And Lakshya Bisht is saying, please raise your hand if you're writing any questions in the chat as well.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. If anybody has any doubt, please ask.
There are more questions coming in. They are coming to me as direct messages. May I please request all of you to post it in the chat box? There is Earth Enthusiast who asks, sir, can we mention our observations of land first in diary and then in chart? Yes, you can do that also. Do we have to mention both advantages and disadvantages of non-native trees? Arnav Chauhan says, it's up to you. If you are able to identify native and non-native trees and you can get your story, then you can share that as part of your presentation, that these are the advantages and disadvantages. I'm sorry, there are questions coming in, so I'm having to talk about that. I'm willing, you let me know when it's time to stop.
If somebody is writing their doubts or having some queries, or they are writing it currently, they can raise their hand so we can know how much the questions or queries are currently you people have. Thank you.
Okay, sir, I guess we have covered all the main questions. Thank you so much. It was indeed an enlightening session. So now, if anybody has any queries, you can ask right away. Kindly raise your hands if any doubt.
There is a question on the chat by Nature Reviewers to everyone. Namaskar, respected educator. May I please inquire the time limit? As we are provided with the meeting planner, the next meeting is planned for 20th, that is Tuesday. So in this period of time, we need to complete the investigation and will be assigned another task in the next meet, or do we have more time for the same? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually hand this question over to the SETU organizers so that they can address this.
Sure, sir. If you can complete your task before the next meet, it would be great. I hope you've got your answer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. As the session comes to an end, I would like to extend a sincere gratitude to our dedicated panelists for being our torchbearer. Thank you so much, sir, once again. You were extremely supported throughout the meet.
Thank you, and I'm happy
you,
to
sir,
help in
and,
any way possible.
Also, heartfelt thanks for the patron for joining. Thank you, sir and ma'am. And also heartfelt thanks to patron and making this success, this session a huge success. The next workshop is competition of August, where we all will be diving deep into the challenges. See you all there. Have a great day.
I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. Thank you, sir. Also, heartfelt thanks, patron, for joining us and making this session a success. As you're all aware, the next workshop is on 20th August, where we will be diving deep into the challenges. See you all there. Have a great evening. Looking forward to your participation. Thank you.
So we will provide the recordings and the online sessions with you soon. And thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone.